Hello friends, welcome to the MOOCs on entrepreneurship development. This module is regarding the business plan formulation. There are 4 videos. One video we have already made. This is the second video in the series. The contents of this video or this presentation is the introduction. In this we are basically discussing the business plan document. So, what is covered in the business plan document? So, introduction, then about the promoters, then about the project, about the location, then infrastructure requirements, plant and machinery, space considerations, and then the miscellaneous assets. So, we shall be covering these areas in this part of the video. So, first is the introduction. You see what we need to put in the business plan document. So, first is the current industrial status at this specific location. So, where you want to set up your industry or your enterprise basically in that location could be a town or a city or any area basically, what is status of the industry over there in general. So, that you have to indicate over there, that you have to write it over there. And this we will have the number of existing units, performance of existing units in general, how they are performing over there, the installed capacity and the capacity utilization, because you can decipher the demand from these two things basically. What is the capacity, installed capacity, and how much is the capacity utilization. Then the demand analysis and scope for the new units. Then the current status of the industry at the national level also we have to see, and then you have to justify your selection of a project. The justification could be in terms of these 4 issues. One is the government policy. Suppose the the government policy is promoting that type of industry basically, you can always justify that the priority of the government, Government of India or the state government is to promote that type of industry. So, that can be a rationale for that, that can be justification for that. Then the demand, the present and the future demand, if there is a lot of gap, the demand is more, the supply is less, you can always justify. The national priorities, what are the national priorities? The government wants an export oriented unit where you can export the thing and you can earn the foreign exchange for the country, import substitute unit, environmental friendly unit, high tech units basically, these are all basically the national priorities. And then the self suitability, how suitable are you as a promoter, as an entrepreneur to set up that business, because the bankers, they will see your suitability also to run that, to start that business and to run that business basically. The second component is about the promoter. In this the educational background, what is educational background? It will depend, suppose your unit is a very technical unit, it's a high tech unit and you are, let us say, not from technical not from technical field. So, it can go a little against you, but it's not necessary of course, because you can hire the technical people also. But if you have the technical qualifications and the business is also technical, it will go in your favor. Then the work experience, how much experience do you have? Project related work experience, which is very important. The family background, if you belong to a business family, you will get a preference naturally, investment potential, how much money you can put in. So, that will also be a plus point for you. And if it is a partnership this thing, then the same thing for the partners also. The third parameter is about the project, that means what you want to do basically. Description of the product and its use. So, what is your product basically and where it will be used in the market. So, the specifications of the product, the range of sizes, any statutory standards, like let us say if you are making an electrical item maybe, so it must have this BIS standards, or any food items, it must pass through that FCC SAI this thing specifications. So, that is required. Then applications of the product, whether it is a commercial product or a industrial product. Then the next is the installed capacity. Now, this is most important parameter for assessing the plant and machinery, other physical facilities, and for financial viability calculations. You see, depending upon your capacity, you will calculate how much machines do you need, how much area do you need to put those machines, and everything will be based on the installed capacity. Then the number of working days in a year, normally we take 300 days in a year if it is not a seasonal this thing, and the number of shifts, it could be 1 shift or 2 shifts or 3 shifts. Then the next is the operating capacity, that means you have installed capacity and then how we will be operating, maybe around 50% the first year, 60% second year, 70% third year. So, you will move gradually basically. Then what will distinguish the proposed project from others already operating? So, what is your uniqueness in terms of other units, because they are also making the same thing. So, how different are you, how unique are you basically. So, you have to justify any legal requirement regarding that product. So, you have to indicate, then clearances from the government and other regulatory agencies and status with regard to obtaining such clearances. So, maybe you need to have some environmental clearances or certain other clearances. So, you have to see which are the requirements and what is your status, have you taken those clearances already or not. The next parameter is the location. So, the exact location of the project, the location could be a city, a town or an area, basically an industrial area in that area. Then various other alternatives, what are the alternatives in case you are not able to get a space over there. So, what are the alternatives? You have to indicate the alternatives also, and then criteria for selecting the location. On what basis have you selected that location? Maybe in terms of the subsidy, maybe you are getting it over there, maybe in terms of you need a clean environment, basically you go to the hills for getting a clean environment. So, that you have to justify basically. So, it is basically a two-stage procedure. In the first stage, you identify 2 to 3 locations and 1 to 2 sites at each location. In the second stage, you examine each location or the site in terms of a 6-dimension checklist, and this is the 6-dimension checklist. The first is the basic considerations, that means the development status of the town and the location with respect to the enterprise needs. So, how developed that area is, maybe you go to an area which is not, let us say, developed. So, maybe you will need all those facilities which are not over there. So, you have to see your requirements and the facilities being given by that location or the site. Then the physical infrastructure position, like the power requirements, water requirements, fuel requirements. Suppose your industry is very power intensive, you need 24 hours power, but maybe that area has less of power. So, you have to see that thing also. The commercial infrastructure position in terms of telecommunication facilities, banking facilities. Then the social infrastructure position in terms of the housing, health, because you will have some workers in your factory, in your enterprise, they need a place to stay, they need some housing facilities, they need some health issues like dispensaries, hospitals. You have to see all those facilities over there. Then the financial incentive positions, like any subsidy which is being given at that area, income tax concessions. So, this can also be the criteria for selecting specific location also. Then site specific considerations in terms of the land price, in terms of the contours, it all depends upon the exact site at that place. Next is the infrastructure requirements. So, first is the land, how much land do you need. So, the total area requirement and then the cost of the land you have to indicate. Then the building, total built up area required. So, depending upon your installed capacity, you will calculate the total built up area which is required by you. The type of construction, it will again depend on the type of industry, the cost, the layout, etc. And then the power requirements, how many kilowatt hours of requirement power do you need. Then the requirement of water, fuel, effluent disposal, etc. Next parameter is the plant and machinery. So, in this we have to see the installed capacity. Secondly, the technical features of the machines, the basis of selection, suitability and the adequacy. You see, it all depends on the type of product you are making. If your product is, let us say, very high tech product, you need high tech machines. So, that you have to see. So, how suitable they are and how adequate they are. Availability of the components, whether it is indigenous or imported, that again you have to see. Then who are the suppliers, what is the cost, what are the various other alternatives available, and then criteria for choosing the proposed equipments among several alternatives. So, maybe there are different alternatives and you have chosen a specific equipment. So, why that equipment only, why not the other equipment, you have to justify over there. Then the dies and the space required, if it is an old machinery, then see the present condition of the machinery, old machinery, its value and the residual life, very important to see. Then check the policy of the term loan organizations regarding the lending machine for old machinery. You see, sometimes you want to have a old machinery, you want to buy old machinery and you want to take a loan also, but sometimes the loan giving agencies, they do not give the loan for the old machinery. So, that you have to keep in your mind. Then the machinery supplier selection, how to select the suppliers basically. Then the technical features of the machines, reliability of the suppliers, how reliable they are. the price being offered by the individual suppliers, the delivery period and the reputation of the suppliers, then the nature of warranties or performance guarantees being offered by the suppliers, and then the scope of services, after sales services, which is very important. So, depending on all these parameters, you will have the selection of the proper supplier. Next is the space considerations. In this, you have to compute the built up area and find out the building regulations, which can vary from place to place. Then the built up area required for production, that means the factory basically. Then the auxiliary services like labs, workshops, administrative cabins, godowns, miscellaneous like security cabins, tanks, etc. These are all basically built up area required. Then key provisions for expansion of the built up area, normally we keep a provision of around 100% because you may need more area in future. So, you have to keep a provision in the land also. Then open storage area required, because sometimes you have need some open area for drying certain things over there, you need some sunlight maybe. So, you have to see your requirements. Then take into consideration the laws regarding the construction restrictions. So, sometimes there are certain restrictions for construction, like if you are setting up a business, setting up industry which is very close to the airport. So, they have some restriction of the high rise building. You want to set up a factory near to some defense establishment. So, they may have some restrictions over there. So, you have to check those restrictions also over there. Then the specifications of the building will depend on the type of the industry. Next is the miscellaneous assets. In this we have like the air conditioner systems, air conditioners, office automation, the computers, the printers, the peripherals, etc. Then description of these such assets along with the cost and the source of procuring, from where you will be procuring those miscellaneous assets. So, I think that is all for this video. We will discuss more in the succeeding videos. Thank you.